Overlord Threx Kaldren read the Skyward Wren's report twice, which was once more than he usually gave a frontier scouting file, and both times reached the same conclusion. This was, in the long list of annexations he had authorized over 30 years, going to be one of the easy ones. Threat Tier 7, he said, tapping the summary line on the display in his sector command office aboard the Empire's Reach. Pre-orbital. No detected weapons signatures beyond small arms. 40 settlements, none fortified. He looked up at Fleet Marshal Sar Vek, who stood at parade rest on the other side of the desk, with the patient expression of a man who had heard this particular tone of satisfaction from his overlord many times before. "Tell me why I shouldn't sign this today." "No reason not to, sir," Vek said. Scout Commander Thal flagged a request for a second survey pass for what it's worth. Something about the data being unusually clean. Threx snorted. "Clean is good, Marshal. Clean is what we want." He's young. He'll learn to enjoy an easy report instead of suspecting it. He signed the annexation order with the small ceremonial flourish the Dominion's administrative code required, a habit left over from his early years that he had never bothered to drop. Standard protocol: minimal force, minimal disruption to existing infrastructure. We want productive subjects, not smoking craters. Send the 3rd expansion fleet. That should be considerably more firepower than a Tier 7 world could ever need to see, and I want this to go smoothly enough that it becomes the model for the rest of the sector. Understood, sir. Vek hesitated, the way he always did when he had something to add that he suspected his overlord didn't want to hear. For what it's worth, I read Thal's full file, not just the summary. He didn't just flag the request casually. He specifically noted the total absence of any incidental signal noise. No stray transmissions, no unsecured research traffic, nothing. In my experience, sir, that's not typical of a species that simply hasn't developed anything worth hiding. It's typical of a species that has learned very thoroughly how to hide. Threx considered this for exactly as long as it took to remember the last 30 years of his career, in which junior officers had raised 100 variations of this same caution and been wrong every single time. Or, he said, not unkindly, it's typical of a species that genuinely hasn't developed much of anything at all, Marshal. There is a simpler explanation, and in my experience, the simpler explanation is usually the correct one. Take the 3rd Fleet. Annex the system. If you find something that changes the picture once you're there, you have my full authority to adjust the protocol. But I would be very surprised. Vek saluted and did not argue further, because arguing further had never once changed his overlord's mind, and there was no reason to believe today would be different. He left the office already running annexation timetables in his head, already planning for the easy campaign he had every reason to expect. And if some small professional instinct kept nagging at him that Thal's unease deserved more weight than it had been given, he set it aside the way a competent officer sets aside doubts that arrive without evidence to support them. 4 days later, the 3rd expansion fleet, 11 Void Reaver-class battleships, a screen of light escorts, and the Sovereign-class command carrier Empire's Reach at its heart, broke from its staging point and turned its bow toward a small, quiet, thoroughly unremarkable farming system that no one aboard had any reason to believe was anything other than exactly what it appeared to be. Thank you for listening to the opening chapter of The Quiet Empire. Please leave comments. They are always appreciated. Also, please like and follow on TikTok, or like and subscribe on YouTube. They will help to keep these stories coming and on a quicker pace. Thank you.